So it's Super Bowl week here in New York City. Uh, you played against many players on both of these teams, but if you had to give some of the players some advice about what to do post-career, if you had to tell them about the book, some things that might be able to help them, what would you say?
Well, it's pretty much about relationship building. A lot of guys who play in the National Football League only focus on football, not recognizing the millions and millions of people who watch them on TV, the hundreds of people who pass them every day and not even recognizing who they are. I know a lot of guys who won't even wear their Super Bowl ring for fear of losing it, or for fear the selfishness of this is mine, this is what I accomplished, and they won't even wear it. You know, I've recognized that, you know, walking through the airports, we wear helmets. A lot of people don't know what we look like. They judge us based on, or recognize us, should I say, based on what we wear, the jewelry we may have on, and a lot of these things are avenues to conversation. And being able to take advantage of a conversation just because you wear that tag, people want to talk to you. They want to hear your story. They want to experience the real you, because the media portrays us as athletes the way that they want to portray us. Negativity sells, so 99% of what you see in the media is them trying to gain coverage, get people to listen. So people want to know the real you. And I think that being able to embrace every avenue, every situation, of bringing in people and letting people know who you are as a person, that plays a big part in your success after your career. Whatever you want to do, you want to establish that fan base, that support system. And you can't do that if you only focus on football or standoffish about people talking to you. So I've been helped in so many ways by people that I've met on airplanes, in gas stations, and restaurants, because they're business people. And business people want to be involved with business people. And when football is over with, that is who we want to become. Right. So why not use your tag and as the NFL to help you open that door? Because people are willing to accept you. They're willing to open that door, but they won't open the door. I mean, just because they open the door doesn't mean that's opportunity. You have to walk through it. And I think that, you know, letting people know who you are is the first step in walking through that door.
Curious, what's the most interesting conversation you've had with someone who saw the Super Bowl ring that you were wearing? You've had.
Well, I haven't had any. What's more surprising is the fact that I actually take it off and I'll let people hold it and put it on their finger and take pictures with it, especially people from New York, right, you know, who are die-hard fans. You know, I experienced winning one of the first BCS national championships at LSU. And the great people of Louisiana just remember those moments. A lot of great stories. I just had a book signing at Barnes and Nobles, and these kids were in the 4th and 5th grade who came to see me play in 2004 and 2003, and now they're going to college and they're telling me these great stories of what they had on and the day that I played and the stats that I had, and they were so young and babies. So being able to take my ring off and say, hey, you were a part of this, because the people who support us, who cheer us on, it makes it easy for you to go out there and be great, because you see what you're playing for. And it's important for people to understand that, you know. And I hear the great stories, the facial expressions of people grabbing it, looking it, holding it, putting it on, taking a picture of it. That's more rewarding, and I think that people are so surprised that they can't even get words out to tell a story, because it's never happened before. They've only seen a ring on a picture, but never in the flesh. So it's majority of the times they're in awe of it, and I really enjoy those moments every chance I get.
Now you mentioned your college championship, so you won a BCS college championship. you won a Super Bowl. Uh, Something that most athletes don't get a chance. They chase a Super Bowl and they chase a college championship their whole career. What is winning both of those championships like? Compare and contrast winning college championship and winning the Super Bowl.
Well, because of where I'm from in Louisiana, I'm born and raised, and making a decision to go to LSU and not Florida State, to have a great man like Nick Saban come in and teach me the things that I needed to know to be a success in life, not just football, and to go on to achieve all of the dreams and goals that we had set prior to me stepping foot on LSU's campus. It's something that I'll never forget, and the people of Louisiana will never forget. You know, that's been my support system. Even today, I can live in Florida, I can play in New York, but because I'm from Louisiana and I went to LSU, my support system in Louisiana is beyond anything that anybody could understand. Just the outpour when they see me on national TV shows or magazines that are published only in New York. They go find those articles because they want to read, because they're a part of me and I'm a part of them. And as successful as I may be, they know that they had something to do with it. So that winning that national championship, very different than winning a Super Bowl, because of it's from my home. It was a part of history that I was able to enrich. And when you come up in Louisiana, you have a way to inspire every kid that wants to be like the next Michael Clayton. And you have a powerful word to say that you accomplished the pinnacle of success. These are the tracks and the roads that I had to go down. These are the decisions that I had to make. So the power of influence of winning a national championship, I think, exceeds even winning a Super Bowl. I can't go into the New York Giants locker room. I can't go into the Tampa Bay Bucks locker room. But every day, 24/7, I can step on LSU's campus. I can go in their locker room. I can associate myself with their coaches, with their players, see my pictures up on their walls of history. It's my home. So that is more valuable to me. Not taking anything away from, reaching the pinnacle of success and being a world champ. It was an experience of a lifetime. The greatest players, some of the greatest players in the world, have never been able to mount this ring on their fingers. So obviously, it is an accomplishment that everyone who plays in the league dreams to have, to be able to fulfill those dreams and accomplishments, and even more so the way that I achieved this goal. Not being productive. I may have caught 2 passes in my career as a Giant, but being a leader on that team, finding a way to affect each and every person in the locker room, to help that team come together as one, that was my role. And I did my very best to master that role, and to be held up in the guy's arms. I wasn't even in uniform. I was on the sidelines, but I was hurt. I got hurt in week 12. For those guys to hold me up at the end of the game, and just remember the journey that we went on throughout those weeks from week 4 on. Week 4, I said, this is the year of the breakthrough. We're going to win a Super Bowl. And week 4, we started a group. 4 guys came, and then halfway through the season, we had half the team. And at the end of the season, we had almost all of the team, including coaches, in our fellowship meetings, because everybody depended on each other, and we were able to create that. I was amongst a team with a lot of generals, and it took a guy who wasn't on the field every day to sit back and study, and to see how you can bring all of these generals together and have the chemistry, and that where we can maximize each and every player's full potential. And that was my role, and to be a part of that was just like me suiting up and playing in that game. And the guys made me feel so special that I played a specific role in that, and it didn't matter if I was in uniform or out. I know that I had something to do with the championship. It was a great feeling.
One of the things that we touched on when the camera wasn't rolling, just to confirm some of the things that you said, when I was at the charity event that you did at Build-A-Bear, I spoke to some of your teammates, and they talk about you and the inspiration you are, the respect that they have for you. And that was something that definitely stuck with me, as that was over 2 years ago. It is something that definitely stuck with me. Here you are, not on the field of play, but your teammates have such a high level of respect for you that Michael needs us to show up for an event, we're there. So that's just a testament of who you are. Let's transition a little bit. You mentioned the media's portrayal of players, athletes. What's your take on the Richard Sherman, I don't even know what to call it, the Richard Sherman debacle that has been one of the biggest stories since, for the last 10 days?
It's crazy. If you watch what I watch, you know what's going on. Richard Sherman made a great play. He goes over to shake the receiver's hand, pat him on the butt,
Right.
and tell him good game.
Right.
And out of frustration, the receiver acted in a way that was unnecessary and pushed his face mask.
Right.
And from that, you didn't hear not one time the fact that Richard Sherman came in peace.
Right.
It was all on Richard Sherman because he's playing in the Super Bowl.
Right.
The negativity happened from the receiver pushing him in the face.
Right.
Now, yes, he could have reacted in a different way. He was asking the referee, did you see that? I'm just trying to tell him good game.
Right.
But never once was that mentioned in the media. These aren't the questions that are asked at the media. Everyone tries to label him, Richard Sherman, as a thug, And when emotions are involved, going to the Super Bowl, knowing that you played a pivotal role in the success of your team, in frustration, it may come out because that's who you are as a person. It came out. It's no different than, preachers who live in the Spirit and faithful people who walk in the Spirit. Well, you know what the truth of the matter is, you ain't in the Spirit all the time.
That's right.
Probably the majority of your day you're in the flesh. And I think that in good spirit, he came to wish him, congratulate him. And when that affliction came upon him, he acted in the flesh.
Right.
And that's what the media a lot of times portray. They portray what the flesh is saying. And in that instance, we see a prime example of how the media portrays athletes. And I think that it's a learning process. The media needs more people, more players who have experienced these things to be the point person on these stories. Or the NFLPA needs to stand up and give an avenue to these players to tell their positive side of the story, because the essence is we're losing fans because we're being portrayed in this light when that's not who we are. And I just think that it's really important. That's why every time I get a chance to speak against what the media is portraying, I do my very best to enhance other my peers' image. So it's important.
Tell us a little bit about your foundation and some of the work that you've been doing over the years.
The Generation Next Foundation, we support underprivileged kids. I have a construction company in Louisiana where I buy properties and we remodel. And I saw my dad work every day. I saw him going to work, coming in from work, sleeping, and at my games.
It's a long day.
Yeah, he worked hard, very hard, and he taught me my work ethic. And